Alright, we have been talking about it, speculating about it, if and when Luka Doncic will sign his new contract with the Lakers, and if it will be this summer or if it will be next summer. But according to a new report and according to the coach of the Slovenian national team, Luka Doncic very likely will sign that when he is offered to it on August 2nd or August 3rd by the Los Angeles Lakers, with the Slovenian national team coach saying that Luka will fly to the USA to complete all obligations before joining their national team after August 4th, meaning that he does intend to sign it when the Lakers can first offer it to him, which happens to be on August 2nd. And well, he does have a few different options he could take here. If the reports happen to be true, then he will simply sign the 4-year, $230 million contract that the Lakers can offer to him, but he could instead go to a different route if he wanted to. Rather than taking that contract, he could instead take a 3-year contract. The benefit of that being that in 2028, when he can opt out of that contract, then he could sign a Supermax contract with their team. At that point, he could sign a 5-year, $418 million contract. Nearly $500 million here, so I wouldn't be entirely shocked by it. I wouldn't mind if he would go that route. I mean, any contract he takes with their team would be an obvious positive, and the Lakers won't care as long as he takes the contract, really getting their future secured with him, getting him locked up long term, and again, they don't care if he signs the 4-year contract, 3-year contract, probably wouldn't even care that much if you'd wait until next summer to sign a contract, but it's great news that he apparently does intend to sign it when officially they can offer it to him, and doesn't plan to wait until after he plays for the Eurobasket competition, after he's done playing with the Slovenian national team. We don't have to grit our teeth and hopefully wait that he'll sign it after that point and play the waiting game until training camp. Apparently not. He does intend to sign it and get it out of the way before playing with the Slovenian national team, which is obviously the best case scenario here. And you know, I talked about this the other day, but it really doesn't shock me. Even with the narratives and ESPN and different media outlets pushing last week and really throughout the entire past month that he won't sign a contract with their team, I always felt like he would, and especially after we heard about him recruiting for their team. Marcus Smart even confirmed it, saying that Luka Doncic recruited him and called him not only once but twice in an effort to get him to join their team.
It first came, my agent, I'm working out and I get a call from my agent saying, hey, Luka's reached out. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, all right. And then another day, same thing, Luka reached out again. And now it's real, it's no longer what ifs. It's real, and it's something we need to talk about. And that was a great feeling, like I said, and that's kind of what got the things going for me to be here, and I'm excited to be here.
Once you were able to make that connection with Luka on the phone, like what's Luka the recruiter like? We know what the basketball player is like. What's the recruiter like in him?
It's the same. He's a competitor, and he just the same way. He has that competitive nature when he's talking, when he's intrigued, and that's it. He didn't really have to say much. Luka, his name, his ability, what he has done, spoken for itself. And for me, like I said, I've been on the other end of Luka Magic, so to be able to come and join and see it, and witness it on the other side is something that I was like, why not give it a shot?
Not only that, but also called up DeAndre Ayton, getting him to join the team, even giving the Lakers a list of what he wants around him and even the kind of skill sets they want around him, and they completely filled that too. Getting him a capable rim-running center, getting him more shooting help around him, and more defensive help at the point of attack. So between the Lakers front office and Luka Doncic, definitely have a great mutual relationship right now, definitely working together, and to me that really pointed to him staying with their team long term and taking the contract when they can first offer it to him. So in my opinion, it's not a doubt at this point, pretty much confirmed without being officially confirmed. When they can first offer him that contract in roughly only 2 weeks at this point, he will be taking some version of it. Whether again it's that 3-year contract, 4-year contract, I don't care, they don't care, they simply want to put pen to paper here with him. And well, at this point, it's pretty clear that Luka's become their number one priority and definitely the guy they're building around. Not putting LeBron to the side by any means, they're definitely still prioritizing him to some degree, though LeBron's obviously coming to an end with his career, either this being his final year or next season. That likely is the route that they're going to take with him and the route that he's going to take too. So definitely putting Luka in the spotlight, working with him, building the team around him, taking his thoughts about what he wants the team to look like and the guys that he wants around himself. So it's definitely a great relationship going forward, and I'm very happy to see it. Again, with all the media narratives and people saying that it might not be a great relationship at this point, Luka might not trust them yet, might not be happy with the team they built around him last season, and might not believe in what they're capable of doing around him and the team they can put around him going forward. I think this really shuts down those narratives. Not only with the team that they built around him, the fact that Luka's helped them build it, giving them an actual list again to put around him, I think that's really showing that they're working together in the future, and Luka definitely wants to commit to their team long term too, whether it's this Lakers current front office or the new front office with Mark Walter. And by the way, yes, he definitely is the guy that they should build around and definitely do want to build around too. Despite the narratives and stuff that came out after he got traded, like the coming and leaked by the Mavericks front office about his leadership, diet, off-court habits, so on and so forth, he definitely is a guy they should want to build around. Even coming off a quote-unquote down year, which for Luka Doncic looks like 28 points per game, 8 rebounds per game, 8 assists per game, nearly 2 steals per game, and shooting 37% from 3 on nearly 10 attempts per game. Yeah, that's definitely not too bad, and definitely a guy that's worth the max contract, even worth a supermax contract, and still can be built around after that point. So, now the question is this the final move for their team this summer? Do they have more moves after this point, or are they done? Well, obviously that's up for debate here, and depending on who you ask, you'll either get a yes or a no with that answer, but I think that they might not be done quite yet. At the bare minimum, I think they'll fill a two-way contract, but I guess if you're talking about a trade or a free agent signing, at this current moment, they can make a free agent signing without making a trade first, which would involve salary dumping some payroll. I'm not sure they go that route. I think they want to evaluate this current version of their team first. The guys they put around Luka Doncic, the guys that he kind of requested, or the skill sets around him. I think they kind of want to evaluate it first and hold on to their trade assets until later in the season. That way they can actually evaluate specifically what they need and around Luka Doncic and very likely LeBron James too. At that point they get a better picture of it, rather than simply guessing right now if they have a need that's been filled yet, if Jake LaRavia can fill that 3-and-D wing need for their team, if Jared Vanderbilt can get back to being a primary and elite defensive option. All the questions that are kind of left unanswered at this point. I think they're probably better off waiting to at least make a big trade to address a big need for their team, or at least what they think might be a big need, rather than again guessing right now about it. Now, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't be entirely opposed to it. If we're talking about making a gigantic trade with somebody like Rui Hachimura or Austin Reeves, then I would say no to that at this point. But if you're talking about a smaller to mid-sized trade with a borderline rotation player like Maxi Kleber, even maybe Gabe Vincent at this point, potentially even Dalton Knecht if you can find a good price for him and find a team that values him at what he should be valued at, then maybe I'd be open to it. I personally think they probably will need a 3-and-D wing. I've talked over and over about this, so I won't go on a tangent, but if you're talking about making a game-changing and really rotation-altering trade to their team, at this point I might say wait and maybe do that a bit later to evaluate their team first. However, regardless of how you feel about that and which route you would take, the good thing here is that Luka Doncic believes they have done enough to not only get his commitment long term, but the fact that they actually adhered to him and actually filled his requests about the skill sets they wanted, helped him get the guys that he actually recruited to their team, so definitely a good thing in both that regard, and simply the team they have currently built. You might not love it, but it's definitely trending in the right direction. Everything they've been able to do without giving up a single trade asset, the fact that they still have trade assets, I definitely couldn't imagine they would add guys like DeAndre Ayton, Marcus Smart, Jake LaRavia, and even a solid young player with a Adu Thero without giving up a single trade asset. So in my opinion, it's been a very good offseason for them. Not quite a perfect offseason quote unquote, but with a new Luka Doncic contract, it might be getting pretty close to it. So with all of that being said here, what do you guys think? How do you feel about the report, and this coming from the Slovenian national team head coach, that Luka Doncic will take the Lakers contract offer when they can first offer it to him, either being on August 2nd or August 3rd? How do you feel about that? How do you feel about the contract options that he might take? Do you think it will be the 4-year contract, 3-year contract? And how do you feel about the relationship between the Lakers front office and Luka Doncic going forward? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But I think that'll pretty much do it for this one. And if you enjoyed the video, then I'll greatly appreciate it if you dropped a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day or night.